the final in that game. Other games set to get going momentarily. Cubs and Reds in Cincinnati. Pirates host the Brewers. Nationals host the Giants. Blue Jays in Tampa Bay to take on the Rays. It's the Orioles and Red Sox game 2 of that doubleheader coming up. Tigers and Guardians. Mets play host to the Dodgers. Braves and Padres in Atlanta. And the White Sox and Rangers get together in Chicago, while the Royals on the road to face off against the Minnesota Twins.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Friday to everybody out there. Another beautiful day outside, and hopefully everybody's set to have a great holiday weekend, great weather. Stay safe out there, and hopefully we get back here on Tuesday talking about Mariners sweeping the final 3 games of the series against the Houston Astros, because last night was a pig of a game. Did not go the way anybody had hoped. But still 3 left to go in this series. Meanwhile, we'll talk to Jon Morosi, talk some baseball coming up at 2:30. 3:30, we'll do best of the rest. Short show because we're going to turn you over to the pregame show at 4 p.m. So mean texts at 3:45. So get cracking at 866-979-3776. But not a good one last night for our beloved Seattle Mariners. That was not fun to watch.
Yeah, maybe pump the brakes a little bit. I was talking about maybe a sweep there yesterday.
You were talking about maybe a sweep. Yes, you were.
Yeah. I mean, look, George Kirby, I think you get really excited about the idea of having him back. And, you know, he gave up 6 hits, 5 runs. He only walked 1, which I'm sure he was pissed about. And, you know, what they said was going to be 75 pitches. He threw 72. So, but, I mean, you know, just getting back into the groove for him. And, you know, and it'd be one thing if, like, Logan and Bryce, they've both pitched this year, and Kirby has not. And he's been hurt since we were down there for spring training. So, yeah, I mean, I guess expecting excellence out of George Kirby in his debut for this year, probably not realistic.
Yeah, I don't. It wasn't a huge surprise. I mean, he started out well. First 2 innings outside of plunking the first hitter for the very first pitch.
Very first pitch.
But then he was looking sharp. Velocity was there. I mean, he's hitting 98 on the gun, and so there were some good things to take out of it. But then things got out of hand, and the wheels started coming off. And then, you know, watching, you know, the little people's champion Jose Altuve out there, who's just been dreadful this month. Didn't have a home run all month. All of a sudden he hits 2. He's driving in 4. He had 6 RBI the whole month. He drives in 4 last night. Little creep.
I still marvel over how, number one, the bat looks bigger than him, and just his power for his size. But
I know you love him.
I used to before he became a cheater.
It's still there.
I thought it was impressive. I still think it's impressive how, you know, his stature and the fact that he's able to hit home runs like that. But, yeah, I mean, that's the worst way to lose, right? I mean, he's the most hated Astro of all time.
Yeah, I actually, Bregman was my guy.
Oh, not just because of his face.
Yeah, well, and he was the one that was really, I just remember the interview shortly after the whole scandal and, you know, whatever happened, and he was, I can't remember how he phrased it, but he was just smirking the whole time, and he gave an answer, something like, yeah, I mean, I guess we're sorry, you know, or something like that. And I was just like, what a punk. What a punk. And he's a great player. He's a great talent. Maybe a good guy in real life. I have no idea. But it just made it that much easier to hate the team, you know, and really root against him. And
you remember in Animal House when John Belushi smashes the guy's guitar?
Yes.
And then he hands it back and goes, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think John Belushi. I think he was more sincere. He was dripping with sincerity compared to the comment from Bregman.
Yeah, at least he wasn't smirking.
Yeah, it was just that smirk and just like, I guess we're sorry kind of thing. I was like, oh, you little creep. So anyway, yeah, not good game one, but you got 3 left, and we talked about it yesterday. You were expecting a sweep. I was thinking, just give me 2 at minimum. Just split it, and this becomes a wildly successful road trip. So that opportunity still sits in front. I don't care which 2 they are. Just it would have been fun for Kirby to go out and get a win and dominate in his first start. But, again, he hadn't pitched since the first week of March. So it's been a long time.
It's fine for me if they win 3 times in this series.
You're okay with that?
You'll
allow
it? That's the next prediction.
Okay.
See if I can jinx them again.
And if they lose today, you're going, look, they can win the next 2. That's my prediction.
What's the prediction on how many people say that I jinxed them? Because there's been lots of jinx talk on this station.
Yeah, I don't know how many people think you have that kind of power, but text in if you think Dave screwed this whole thing up for the Mariners. 866-979-3776. George Kirby after the game talking about how it felt just to be back out there on the mound.
Yeah, super excited. You probably could have told by that first pitch, a little sporadic, but yeah, it felt great to be back out there. My body feels good. Yeah, just, didn't go the way I wanted to tonight, but it's a great step in, just being back with the boys, being with the team. And yeah, just got to do my job next time.
He's probably the guy we know the least about in that rotation. I feel like, have we had him out to like Edgar's or?
No.
Yeah. I don't think he
doesn't talk a ton.
No.
He talks post game, but he doesn't do a lot of one-on-one stuff.
But I mean, just to hear him talk about being back with the team and all that, I mean, that's kind of cool to hear that from him. But I mean, certainly doesn't sound like he's panicked, right? I mean, it almost sounds like, I mean, he obviously would want to come back and be the Kirby he was last year. But yeah, I mean, I think he understands what's going on there. So, dude, I'm trying to remember, has he gotten hurt in the past and where he's had to come off and, we've missed him for...
I don't recall him being hurt.
Yeah. I mean, and everybody responds differently.
Yeah.
We talked about that yesterday, that sometimes guys will come back and just be hot as they were when they went on the IL, and then there are guys that it just takes a while. He seems like he's one of those guys.
Dan Wilson, after the game, talked about what he thought of Kirby's start.
Yeah, I mean, seeing him out there, number one, and two, I thought the velo was good, and he was attacking. They were able to get some base runners. He did break a couple bats in the process, but seeing George out there and him attacking with his stuff is what you love to see, and definitely something to build on.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not all lost. And again, if you had your expectations in check going in, I was hoping for 5 and 2. That's what I was saying yesterday. Give me 5 innings, 2 runs, be a fantastic start. Looked like it was going to be 4 innings and 2 runs, and then things kind of came apart there. And they added on as the game went on, and the Mariners' offense couldn't get anything going. That was pretty disappointing. They had 15 strikeouts last night. That was rough.
I think the last time they had that many strikeouts was in the Yankee series. So
yeah, that was rough. And you had Crawford, Polanco, and Cal accounting for 9 of those 15. They each struck out 3 times. So really rough night for Polanco, 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. Cal had a couple base hits, which was nice. But JP went 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. So, yeah, the swing and miss was there. Looked like they had McCullers on the ropes. I mean, his pitch count was going through the roof, and it was like, great, they're going to knock this guy out of the game early. And to his credit, he had them off balance with the breaking stuff, the off speed, low and away. The guys were just, they couldn't recognize it. I mean, he had him complete. He had 8 strikeouts. He was dominant out there when it looked like he was going to get his tail kicked. I mean, he didn't go long. His pitch count got up there. He goes 4 1/3. But compared to the way it looked with the traffic and the pitch count, that ended up being a pretty decent start, comparatively speaking.
Yeah, I thought I was watching a game from last year, basically, with Houston, just because, the swing and miss was pretty ridiculous, and they just looked lost.
All right, coming up, how do the Mariners overcome one advantage the Astros have built up over them recently? We'll get into that next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
The Astros take the opening game of this 4-game series. And, man, those booms are really loud. Enough with the booms. That's enough.
Looks like we're fixing to have an old-fashioned Wild West standoff this summer. After a thumping in Game 1, the first-place M's look to even up the series in Houston. Tonight, first pitch at 5:10. Wyman and Bob take you up to pregame at 4 on Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Xfinity, you know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same, and that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Bump here. Celebrate Memorial Day weekend at the West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Beach Party. Enjoy summer vibes, games, and prizes, including a Traeger grill with vehicle purchase, Amazon gift card with test drive, and enter to win a tropical getaway. Plus, get employee pricing on all new Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram vehicles. Join the beach party at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, just off the Auto Centerway exit, Highway 3, Bremerton. Part of the Hazelwood Auto Group. Hazelwood has it all.
Tyrese live at Muckleshoot Event Center, Sunday, July 13th, 8 p.m. You've seen him on the screen. You've heard him on the radio. Now see him live for an unforgettable night. Get tickets before they sell out at MuckleshootCasino.com. Tyrese, only at Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Riverside Roofing is offering $1,000 off a new roof replacement. Book a free estimate online, and when you meet with Brandon, that's Don's son, tell him you heard the message on the radio station. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. It's Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
This is Jill Schlesinger. May is Military Appreciation Month, and I know how much I appreciate the military. I married into a military family. I hear from so many members of the military, and Navy Federal Credit Union wants us to celebrate those who go above and beyond for us every day. If you're active duty, a veteran, or part of a military family, you're eligible to join. At Navy Federal Credit Union, the members are the mission. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Cars for Kids. No more stressing over your old vehicle. Donate it today and get it picked up tomorrow. It's the easiest service out there. Donate online at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
4 down territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We got mean text coming up at 3:45 today before we turn you over to the pregame show at 4 p.m. 866-979-3776. People going in on jinxes on the text line. 509 says, there's no jinxes. To all who believe in them, it is extremely arrogant of you to believe you have the kind of power over another person or a group of people. Now, if you're 6 years old, then it's totally acceptable to believe in jinxes. But after 6, no, you're just stupid.
Wow.
360, jinx talk is for weak thinkers. And then somebody at the 415 said, I blame Wyman for me not getting a promotion this year, so he definitely jinxed the M's.
How in the world did I hold back the 415?
I don't know. Somebody's blaming Stacy. 206, blame Stacy for jinxing. I don't know what she said or what she did, but I'm not going to give her that kind of power. I don't think she has it, with all due respect to her. All right, let's take 2.
415, I'm sorry. I'm happy to give you that opportunity to blame somewhere else. Someone else, for not getting a promotion.
Yeah. Rail at Dave Wyman for your lack of professional success. Let's take 2.
The Mariners have made an interesting roster move today. They've recalled Blas Castano. Now, he has been a reliever and a starter, primarily a starter down in Tacoma. 7 starts in 10 appearances this season. Curious to see what they do with him here, but he's on the roster, yet to make his major league debut. So when he does, it'll be another debut for the M's.
Blas.
Yeah, Blas.
Blas, 1 S.
Lefko's got 2 here.
It's pronounced 2, like Blas, like glass.
Yeah, that's just a
pronounced Blas. It's pronounced 2.
It's pronounced 2. 1 S would be like Blach.
It's pronounced 2.
It's pronounced with 2 S's.
But on the Rainier's website, it's Blas. He's like 5'10", 180 pounds, something like that. But he's thrown more innings than anyone down there. 44 2/3. He's got 28 strikeouts. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to just continue to pump out good pitching in this organization. Yeah, and the corresponding move, they DFA'd Jesse Hahn, who had to go out there and kind of wear it last night. So there you go. Moves. Is Dan going to call him Blassie? Is that going to be the name? I think you can bet on that one.
Actually, another note there, too. So Julio is back in the lineup today. I don't know if we had gotten clarification yet on that because Dan Wilson doesn't speak till 2:45 our time. They released the lineup. He is back in there. Yeah. So all good with the back for Julio. Angels have won 7 straight after rallying yesterday to beat the A's, who've now lost 9 straight. Remember when they played the Mariners? They were closing in on them. They've lost 9 straight now. They're now 22-29 and last in the division. And some MLB news today. The Red Sox scored 13 runs in the bottom of the 8th. That Alex Bregman left with right quad tightness. Yeah, I was watching that game. Bregman rounding first base and kind of was looking like he was going to make a move towards second, turn around, went back to first, and immediately pointed to the dugout like, get me out of here. So we'll see if anything is significantly wrong with him. But, it's interesting seeing what's gone on with the Athletics. 9 losses in a row. The Rangers have lost 4 in a row.
The Angels have won 7 in a row. I mean, you got a lot of up and down going on in this division. Meanwhile, the Astros and the Mariners are both 6-4 in their last 10. So they're just neck and neck with each other. So that would mean that the Mariners should go out and win today, just to keep the trend alive.
That is true. Angels 8-2 over the last. It's kind of interesting how different teams have gotten hot. I think the A's were just behind the Mariners for quite a while, and they got some good pieces on that team. But looking at their run differential is -74. Yikes! Not good.
Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Coming up, we'll talk with Jon Morosi. Meanwhile, the Astros get the big win last night, and we touched on this earlier, but, man, it just drives me nuts to see Altuve just crush against the Mariners, especially when he was just stinking it up. In the month of May, he was just atrocious. His slash line, 176, 243 on base, 221 slug, 464 OPS. Horrific. He had no home runs, 6 runs batted in, and then Mariners come to town, 2 home runs, drives in 4. Almost his whole month total on RBI, and 2 more home runs than he had in the whole month, which was 0. Do you think he's... I don't know. I mean, it's always different pitchers you're facing. It's never, some teams just, some players just have teams they function well against, it seems.
But like you said, it's different players every time. But, I don't know. Maybe he's fueled by the hatred that he perceives from, the Northwest.
He gets it from everybody, though. Anytime I watch the Astros on like MLB Network or they're in another city and he steps up to the plate, man, it rains boos on him. It is not just Seattle. I love that it's league-wide. And the same is true for Springer and Carlos Correa, and you hear it in Bregman. You hear it in other parks. Those guys just wear it. So Seattle's great at it. We're really good at keeping that hate alive, but it's certainly not singular. It's not just here.
I have no idea how much Major League Baseball players listen. We get that in the NFL all the time, and it's like every once in a while you'll come across somebody that actually pays attention to what's going on. Yeah, I saw this tweet, and a lot of guys like that kind of motivation. Like they use it, but I'm curious with him if he feels that, because I'm sure I'll bet you if you asked him, he would say the most crap he takes is here in Seattle.
You think so?
Yeah. You know why, Bob?
Why is that?
You.
You think he would single me out?
Yes. I think you're the source.
He'd say, "Is that guy on the air out in Seattle? I don't like him."
Is that his voice?
I don't know. It's a little person voice. I don't know. Actually, I don't know what his voice sounds like. I've heard him speak, but I can't remember what he sounds like. So I just throw a little person voice on him. But he, I don't know. He just obviously he's hitting at home, so he's comfortable there, and it's built for a right-hander out there with the Crawford boxes and everything. But he just, he just seems to excel against the Mariners, especially in a month when he was just dreadful. So I hate seeing him come to life. Maybe it'll be a one game thing for him, an anomaly, and he'll go back to being what he's been the rest of the month, which was terrible.
Yeah, it's just the most frustrating thing ever is that he has 4 RBIs in this game. It's 2 home runs. He's the last guy anywhere in the league, really, that you want to see have that kind of night against you.
Yeah, don't want him getting hot. Don't need that. All right, we'll get his thoughts on everything going on with the Mariners right now. Our guy Jon Morosi is going to join us next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
The Astros take the opening game, 4-game series, and man, those booms are really loud. Enough with the booms, that's enough.
Looks like we're fixing to have an old-fashioned Wild West standoff this summer. After a thumping in Game 1, the first-place M's look to even up the series in Houston. Tonight, first pitch at 5:10. Wyman and Bob take you up to pregame at 4 on Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman for Swedish Cyberknife. We had Andy Ryder. He's the mayor of Lacey. And more importantly, he's a Swedish Cyberknife patient. We had him and Dr. Landis from Swedish Cyberknife in studio a few weeks ago. And a couple things that really stood out about Swedish Cyberknife treatment. Number one, it only takes 5 sessions. Andy was able to complete treatment in 1 week, Monday through Friday, while continuing to work full-time, and each treatment session lasts less than an hour. So he was able to remain comfortable during treatment. He wore his street clothes in during the procedure, didn't experience any side effects other than just mentioning he was a little bit tired. But you compare that with other treatment methods for prostate cancer where you have surgery or you have to have a catheter. I mean, it is night and day. So we talk about building a sports team and trying to find stars. Swedish CyberKnife truly has that. It's an all-pro roster of doctors and world-renowned experts in their field like Dr. Landis. Swedish CyberKnife treats patients from all over the state. You don't need a physician referral, and you can reach out to them directly. So if you've been diagnosed with prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I know you want one of the new top-rated TVs.
And a low price.
We can get a top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony TV at a better deal than you found on the internet.
No way. Where?
At Video Only. This weekend, they've got special 3-day-only prices on all those top TVs.
Video Only can beat all these deals I've found?
That's right. This weekend, Video Only's got great deals on the best TVs. So let's check them out, or...
We'll be sorry.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
You're free now. Free to stream beyond your wildest dreams.
Rom-coms, slasher-coms, space operas.
Free to fill your feed with impossibly chonky chonkers.
Cats, corgis, babies on demand.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things.
Bowl of chips on the Robo-Vacuum.
Free to open a world of remote work and Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com.
Limited availability, service in select locations only.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 Gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Celebrate 50 seasons of Seahawks football at Lumen Field and take your game day to the next level with premium hospitality and incredible views. Host a one-of-a-kind event in a private game day suite or get front row access with sideline and end zone field seats. For more on how to elevate your game day at Lumen Field, visit Seahawks.com/premium.
I've never heard a person walk out of the stadium and say, wow, I wish that game would have included more weighting.
He is an endless source of baseball and hockey knowledge.
José Berríos, el lanzador de Puerto Rico en el Clásico Mundial de Béisbol.
Jon Morosi, every week with Wyman and Bob.
You're being serious with me right now?
There he is, everybody. If you're watching on the video stream, he's just bringing sunshine to the show already. Hasn't said a word yet. He is with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Our guy, Jon Morosi, is here. How are you, man?
I am ecstatic to be with you. I'm glad to be back in Michigan. I've got to admit, I love being in Boston. Of course, I went to college there, a special place. But yesterday we had rain for about 24 hours in Boston. So grateful to be out of the rain. Should be a great Memorial Day weekend here. Certainly send my best wishes for safe travels to everybody out there, and certainly thinking about those for whom this holiday weekend is truly dedicated. So great to be with you guys today.
Well, and congrats to you on your Tigers to this point. If we're going by record, they're the best team in all of baseball right now. I don't know if you feel that they're the best team, but
I did not see this
they are.
coming. My mom may have said, Johnny, you've got to have faith, and given me all these lessons in life, and certainly I did not think they were going to be this good. I did not think that Javi Baez would be playing like an all-star. He is. The pitching we knew, of course, the great Seattle University product, Tarek Skubal, continues to be one of the best pitchers in the world anywhere. So there's a lot to like about this team right now, and there's some questions about how sustainable it might be. I'm a believer that this is real, especially because the pitching is the foundation of it. So we will see in a league where right now it is wide open, which is also good news for the Mariners, by the way, that this league I don't think has a single dominant team. So it could be a very unpredictable month of October. How about a Tigers-Mariners ALCS? It's about as reasonable as anything else out there right now anyway. So.
Boy, would our listeners turn on Morosi?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I would hate to see that.
We don't want to see people being mean to you, John. We love you.
I don't speak for all Michiganders, of course, on many matters. I will say this, and listen, you and I have disagreed before. I have a good relationship with Jose Altuve. I think Jose's I think he's a great ball player. He's probably going to go to the Hall of Fame. I know that you still have some issues about things that transpired 8 years ago, but
right.
Be that as it may, we can still be friends and have some good radio together.
Perfect timing. Hey, quickly, before we talk Mariners, Javi Baez being moved to center field, and all of a sudden he's a good player again. That's looked like a disaster of a signing with the Tigers. He's just not been good, and all of a sudden he's this guy. Do you attribute that to the position switch, or what happened to him?
I think two things. Number one, I do believe he's more athletic out there playing center field. Remember, he, of course, missed the final quarter of last year. He had to have hip surgery.
Right.
So I think he's healthier now. He's a more explosive athlete again. So physically, he's better. And I've always believed, and I've watched Javi play now for more than 10 years, he's someone that, more than most Major League Baseball players, feeds off the emotional environment around him. Where when the games are meaningful, when he's at Wrigley Field and it's the World Series, you look back in the playoffs in 15, 16, he was a really good player for the Cubs in those years. And I think a big part of that was the atmosphere, what they were playing for. And now in Detroit, remember, they didn't really take off last year until the final quarter of the season, which it did coincide with Javi going on the IL. I don't think that was the reason why they started playing better last year, but their pitching really got going. They called up some younger players, and they played with this amazing energy, and the crowds in Detroit were phenomenal. And I think that he didn't really have a chance to experience that as an active player last year, so now he's back. The crowds have been really good. There's this romance about baseball in Detroit again, which is it's fun to see. It's fun for all of us to see that are around the community. So that's been really fun to watch. And Javi's, I think, really feeding off it. He had that amazing walk-off in extra innings against the Red Sox in this back-and-forth extra inning game last week. So he's playing really good baseball, and he's one of the main reasons why the Tigers do have the best record in the American League.
Hey, JP, obviously George Kirby making his debut for 2025. We're just looking at his numbers, and 24, he's number one as far as allowing walks, and number 9 innings pitched. What'd you make of his outing? And then, is it unfair to expect him? I mean, obviously we don't expect him to go back to those numbers because, I mean, he was top 20 in a lot of different categories. But what'd you see from him? Pretty good velocity. But what'd you see out of him? What do you make of it?
There's more good than bad, I thought, Dave. And obviously the end line didn't look great in terms of how many runs he gave up, and it wasn't an especially long outing either. And so the ERA is going to look a little un-Kirby-like for a while. But that, you got to remember, and I heard Shannon talk about this on the morning show too, that it is just his first start. He's just settling back in now to the competitive atmosphere of Major League Baseball, and it's going to take some time. Right. The important thing, to your point, I'll say 2 numbers that stood out. Number 1, the average fastball velo was what you would expect in that same range, so very good there. That's number 1. And number 2, he only walked 1 batter. And so when you've got someone who's coming off of a long layoff, you do sometimes wonder, is the command going to be there? Is he trying to be a little bit too fine? And certainly I think on some of the extra base damage, there were some missed locations for sure. Maybe one pitch that was just up in the zone and really hittable. But for the most part, I thought his command was fine. Not great, but fine. And that's what you would expect from a first competitive start of the year, especially when it's Memorial Day weekend. So I think overall it was a good sign. I know yesterday there was concern about Julio, and then Wu gets hit by a foul ball. It was not a great day for the Mariners in Houston yesterday, but I do think there are better days ahead on a variety of fronts. And you look at this team, and to me the single sentence statement to be made about the Mariners here on May the 23rd is many things have gone wrong, and yet they're still in first place.
Yeah.
That to me is the essence of the Mariners right now.
Real quick, with Kirby, I mean, is velocity the best indicator of health? I mean, when you see him coming back, I mean, you said the command wasn't there. We saw that, but, as far as the velocity, is that a good sign of things to come?
It is good. And I think sometimes I would say this, that when velocity drops significantly, it's a red flag for sure. And we did not see that last night. I think the velocity has been pretty steady. It was about what we expected it to be against the Astros. So I think from that standpoint, it was good. The command is often, to me, that's the final piece. And obviously for our listeners, the terminology of baseball, we sometimes hear a lot about command and control. Control is the ability to throw strikes, and then command is quality strikes within the zone located where you want it to be. Yeah. Because obviously, if you have good control, you can throw fastballs center cut all day long, but if they get whacked, that's not ideal. That's not good command. It's control, but not good command. Command is well placed in the zone. And I think that's the piece that's probably still working its way back. But again, the control was good because he only walked 1 batter. So I think from that standpoint, again, not a great first outing, but there was more good than bad, I thought, in the overall outcome for Kirby and the Mariners.
When you look at this offense, JP, do you look at a team that come the trade deadline, and we'll see where they're at in the standings, that they're going to need to add? I mean, we're all loving what they've been able to do offensively to this point, but 2 of the biggest catalysts for this offense in April have really cooled off in May. And you look at Jorge Polanco in April was ridiculous. 379, 422 on base. I mean, he was just crushing it. Month of May, he's hitting a $167 and a 250 on base. And you look at J.P. Crawford, kind of the same story, where he got off to that tremendous start, 325 with a 447 on base in April, just unreal. And then you look at May, he's hitting 230. He's got a 337 on base. So, and you expected that, right? These guys weren't going to play at that clip the whole year. You expected them to come back a bit. Now Polanco's really scuffling in the month of May, but So overall, two of the biggest catalysts for where they are have cooled. Do you look at that and go, okay, they're going to be fine, they're going to get back to where they were, something closer, or this is going to be a team that needs some additions to be made to this offense?
It's the latter. I think especially if they feel as though this is the year to make a run, and really it should be, because, and I made this comment in a different context earlier today, you need to hit your window in a way that, for example, the Orioles did not. And if you needed any more reminder of how precarious pitching health can be, I present to you the first third of the year of the Seattle Mariners. They've lived this. There's been a lot of injury already, and yet they're still in first place in what is a very winnable American League West. And you look around the landscape of this league overall, yeah, we talked about the Tigers. They're a good ball club. The Red Sox are very average for me. The Yankees are still good, but they don't have Cole, or they don't have Soto. There's a lot of key pieces from last year's team that aren't there anymore. And so you look at the landscape. If I'm a Mariner fan, I think it's very legitimate to expect that after a relatively quiet offseason, now is when you go. You've got, even with the pitching being somewhat imperfect, you're still good enough to be able to win a division and then get yourself into the dance. And by then you hope that Gilbert and Kirby and Wu are all in form, and then you're ready to roll. And so that's where I do think adding an infield bat, and it's probably a little early to figure out exactly who that might be. There are some teams that will, I think, make some moves. The Rockies, who knows, right? They're under such scrutiny right now because of the lack of competitiveness. Does that mean they're more or less likely to move someone like Ryan McMahon as you get closer to the deadline? Teams that we thought were going to be aggressive sellers like the Cardinals are all of a sudden playing well, and so maybe Arenado is not available. But I do think that there will be an infielder out there that will make sense for what the Mariners need. And the tricky part is how you make all the pieces work. You also, we know this, of course, they've got some young shortstops, obviously, that middle infielders that might be able to, as we're already seeing this year, potentially impact the club. So there's a lot of decisions to be made there. The one positive thing you would say is, and Montes by now is having a really good start to the year, of course, in Everett. 2 homers this week again. And so there's a lot of excitement about the Mariner farm system, which means either A, are you going to be really aggressive and promote from within and hope that someone from the system can really become an everyday player for you, or B, that it's time to make a trade and augment this group. But unless and until you've got mega long-term deals signed with the starting pitching core, you'd better maximize what you've got right now, especially when it looks like teams like the Astros and the Red Sox and even the Guardians are maybe not quite as strong top to bottom as they were a year ago.
Hey, JP, Rowdy Tellez has kind of been an interesting player to watch. I mean, his average is 207, but he's got 8 home runs. He's tied for 47th and tied for 84th with RBIs, had an RBI last night. And then, defensively, I'm kind of hit or miss with him. I mean, every once in a while when they say he dove for a ball, I'll say, I think he fell for a ball. However tall he is, that's what he's going to cover. But then you see him make, incredible picks at first base. What do you think of that guy? Where is he? How does he fit in?
I've always been a big Tellez fan, going back to when he was with the Blue Jays and, of course, Milwaukee. I just think he's a pro and great in the clubhouse, really great personality, someone that I think people are drawn to. Of course, played for Mexico at the WBC. He's got a really powerful family story, his background. He's just a really grounded person, which is a good thing in this game. He's been through a lot. He's been on the margins of the roster before, and I think he's really grateful for the opportunity that he's got now in Seattle, and he's making the most of it. He's having a Rowdy Tellez type of a year. He's never going to bat 320. He's going to be a low average with some strikeouts, with some walks, and then damage. And that's there's maybe a similarity to Carlos Santana's game a little bit. With Rowdy, maybe he's not quite as patient as Santana is. I think Santana's going to be able to go 1 for 4 with 2 walks when he's about 55 years old. I'm not sure that Tellez can do that, but he does bring a good element to this team. And again, this is an area where if you're a team that has some offensive question marks, you really can't give up production on your corner spot at first base, let's say, especially, and then at DH. You can't suffer from a lack of production. If you've got some players that are important defensively, like J.P. Crawford, for example, J.P. does so much on the defensive side of the ball that you can live with lower production because of all that he means to your team defensively and on the bases to an extent as well. You have to have production at first base and DH, and ideally the corner outfield spots. You have to, and that's where I think this team is still finding its way. It's interesting. The whole right now is greater than the sum of the parts, which is what we said about them a few years ago when they made the playoffs, and this feels a bit more like that kind of a team than the kind of team that left Mariner fans in the front office a little bit wanting at the end of the year in both 23 and in 24.
Hey, before we let you go, I got to ask you one question about the Kraken. How about that? Is this considered a good job, good head coaching for a head coach out there? Because we've heard they're interested in this guy, that guy, some of the upper echelon names that maybe that interest isn't shared by them. So is this looked at as a, I don't know, a B-level job as compared to an A-level job? How is it viewed?
Well, there's been a lot of turnover, obviously, in the last year or so, right? And then with Jason Bottrell coming in and elevating to that role, I think Jason's really good. I've known him for a long time. I've got a lot of respect for Jason and his work ethic, and he knows the game really well. It didn't surprise me that Tocchet went to Philly. That's his team. He's a flyer. He played for them. He embodies that toughness, and I think that's probably where he wanted to go all along. I'll be curious to see what happens here. And I've seen a lot of the names that you've seen. Adam Nightingale, I'm a big believer in him. I'd be curious to see if this is a job that he would leave Michigan State for. I think you would need to have a lot of security because Adam's got a great job at Michigan State. It's his alma mater. They've played really well. Blashill obviously was part of the mix supposedly until he went to Chicago. I think you look at David Quinn, and he's someone that coached the New York Rangers. He's been in a very high-profile job, a lot of international experience. So, honestly, David Quinn's resume is probably similar to what Bilesma's was. They just have to figure out what their identity is going to be. And this, to me, feels like a job that someone's going to have to step in, now working a little more closely with Jason Bottrell to say, all right, this is our program. This is what we want to be known for. And I think, too, one of the biggest things is that they've got to coach and bring in a more entertaining brand of hockey. It's still a young hockey market. The making the playoffs in year 2 was great, and that was a nice run, but you need to put an entertaining product on the ice. And I think that last year they were a little bit dull. And I think that they now have to, and Beniers, by the way, has played well for the U.S. at World Championships. Tomorrow morning, get up nice and early. I think the game starts at like 5 a.m. Pacific time. I know you all be up watching it. The U.S. playing Sweden in the semifinals of Worlds. Beniers has been playing well for the U.S. there. So we'll see what becomes of it all. And by the way, Adam Nightingale has been rumored as a potential suitor there for the Seattle job. He's on the coaching staff there for Team USA. So we'll see how things unfold here in the days ahead.
Jon, have a great holiday weekend. Best to you and your family, and we look forward to talking again next week.
All the best, guys. Really enjoyed. Have a great weekend. Safe travels. Thanks, everybody.
There you go. There's Jon Morosi with us each and every week. If you missed any part of that, you can find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Time to get in our WHYMAN of the week, which is presented by Mazda of Everett. And we begin with Commanders linebacker Frankie Louvu, last seen catapulting himself over the line of scrimmage multiple times in an attempt to stop the Tush Push. To the point that the referees got agitated and said, one more time, we're just going to award them a touchdown, which I had never seen before. But here he is talking about why, in his opinion, the Tush Push or brotherly shove is unfair.
My personal opinion, I think they should ban it. You know what I mean? But I know the argument is going to be about, like, hey, well, you guys have to stop it. Don't get us in short yardage and whatnot. But, I mean, it's kind of like a Chico play, man. You got Jordan Mailata on the right. You got, it's pretty much a scrum in rugby. That's how I kind of look at it. And we got to have a scrum, too, on the other side. And the scrum is, we have a cadence where we all go at once. It's not like you hard count and this and that where, now you getting us or myself jumping over the pile thinking that they're about to snap the ball. And that's just my own personal opinion, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, Louvu, I thought he said cheapo play, but I think he said cheat code.
Oh.
play.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, I think it's interesting just looking around the league and, asking different people. I was kind of doing an informal poll of, what everybody thought about it, just because, first of all, I think it's fascinating. I'm just trying to push back against, because to me, I feel like it should be solved on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm just trying to push back on it, because I'm like, well, one of the things, to me is what if everybody is successful at it, and then it just looks like rugby on every third and fourth down. I mean, that's the extreme, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I always try to think of, things like how bad can it get, and what's the worst thing that could happen? And I think that would probably be it. And I said something about possibly eliminating kickers from the game, the punters. And actually, Ray Roberts thought that was a good idea, and I laughed at that, and I thought it was very funny. And he was joking, obviously. But, yeah, I mean, and then there were some other interesting entries, like Brian Walters. He was saying that you take it away if over half the NFL is running it in a dominating fashion. So if it's just something that defenses can't stop for whatever reason, is it going to look like I said, rugby all the time on those plays, third and fourth down? Because a lot of times, we talked about yesterday, they'll get 5-6 yards. So I'm just wondering where this thing is going. And I think it's kind of an interesting discussion. Somebody else said something about how, okay, you can't run any play action off of it. If you say, hey, I'm going to run a tush push play, you can't run anything but the tush push. Other people were saying, I'm okay for as many pushers as they have, guys pushing from behind, you have that many pushers from the defensive side.
That's the easiest solution, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just let them do it from the defensive side and call it good.
Yeah.
And if it turns into rugby or it becomes that every single series, every third, fourth down, okay, then address it. But sitting here saying we got to get a rule in place because it could become this down the road when it's not even close to that. This isn't new.
Yeah.
They've been doing it for years.
Well,
it's not like it's been perfected by them and then now it's just filtered into all these other teams are doing it. They're not.
Yeah,
it's just not happening.
There's one team that's doing it. And actually, I don't think the Bills they ran it, but I don't think they had a tremendous amount of success.
Yeah, I think they had the second most attempts.
Yeah.
And it was way off of the Eagles' attempts. I mean, it wasn't, neck and neck. So
the Eagles were like 95%.
Yeah, it's being treated like it's like this epidemic and it's changing the game. And it's such an over-rotation, overdone. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. And
I think, it's early to see, because like I said, I'm projecting down the road.
Yeah.
The thing I find really fascinating about it, though, is that football's been around for over 100 years. I mean, obviously it was way different back when it first started, but if you look really in just like the last 40, 50 years, it's the most innovative thing that has happened. I mean, like whoever came up with that idea, and it was someone in the Eagles organization. I don't want to say it's revolutionized football or the NFL, because not everybody's doing it.
Well, how much different is it than the quarterback sneak? Because you've had that going on for decades and decades, and it's a variation of that. Everybody's packed in tight.
Yeah.
They're getting low. They're shoving. To me, it's not a dramatic step away from that.
Yeah.
It's a variation of that.
Well, but those don't have nearly the success rate.
Well, not for other teams. This doesn't have the success rate for other teams. It's one team we're talking about. So I don't know. To me, it's such a wild overreaction. We got to ban it. It's got to be banned, and it's so problematic. It just isn't. Maybe it will be, and then at that point, okay, let's come back and we can readdress it. But
So for you, your point is, and a lot of people responded this way, if it starts to look like rugby.
Yeah, if it gets there, but it's not even close to being that now.
All the time.
Yeah, if every team is doing it and it's just boring and it's not football and it's just left and right, but it's been in the league for a few years now, and it's not caught fire the way that the Wildcat did for a while, or the run and shoot, or the this or the that. So it, to me, is a wild overreaction.
And also probably an overreaction because look at the team that runs it really well, what they did last year.
Yeah, good for them. They figured it out. They figured out a way to master it, and
that's what's interesting to me about it, and also just like legendary.
Yeah,
I mean,
good for them.
You haven't, you haven't seen a change like that. That's that highly successful, like you were mentioning the Wildcat, that, you know, in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, since probably the Don Coryell opening up the
Eric
Coryell throwing the ball downfield.
Yeah, just I don't know. It's a weird thing to me that there's that much reaction to it, and I don't even really. The Seahawks don't run it. It's not personal to me. It's more of a principle thing. I'm looking at it going, really?
Yeah.
You want to ban this because you got your tail handed to you, Green Bay, and then the teams that vote to ban it? I'm like, what is your stake in that? Why would the Seahawks vote to ban it? That bums me out. I hate that. All right, well, quickly, one more here. Charles Barkley. Explaining why he needs a bookie in addition to his online betting.
I thought when they got back to Toronto for Game 7, this is a lock. Well, and that's what I told my bookie, and I told Biz, Game 7 is a lock for Toronto, and to see them lose like that, it was demoralizing as a fan.
Yeah, it was demoralizing.
Do you have a bookie?
No, I don't have a bookie. Do you have a bookie?
I don't have a bookie, no.
No.
There's levels to this.
We might need to get a bookie.
Yeah, I think so.
You want to go halvesy on a bookie?
Let's go halves. Let's go halves on a bookie.
Okay.
I like that.
Hey, FanDuel only lets me bet so much, so
Sure.
I got to have a bookie on the side.
Sure.
Are you trying to get kicked out? You're trying to get kicked out of this stream like Marshawn got kicked out of last game.
So apparently there's limits to his betting on FanDuel. You can only bet so much.
So he needs to bring people in on the outside.
I love the way he talks. I need a bookie on the side. Love it.
Oh, he's just so honest about everything.
He doesn't care. That's what makes him so appealing. All right, coming up, there's one immediate move the Mariners might have to make with their lineup. We're going to get into that next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
The Astros take the opening game, 4-game series, and man, those booms are really loud. Enough with the booms, that's enough.
Looks like we're fixing to have an old-fashioned Wild West standoff this summer. After a thumping in Game 1, the first-place Ams look to even up the series in Houston. Tonight, first pitch at 5:10. Wyman and Bob take you up to pregame at 4 on Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Lake Washington Windows and Doors makes it easy to enjoy new windows with clean glass technology now and defer paying for them until 2026 with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies to same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and great news. This August, luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Yes, the hotel is finally opening. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience at snocasino.com. Breathtaking views of the Cascades in Snoqualmie Valley, an expanded non-smoking gaming floor, awesome destination spa, a 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yes, new food venues, restaurants as well. You can book at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest. It's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
All power, zero compromise. Ego cordless outdoor power equipment features advanced lithium battery technology that exceeds the power and performance of gas without the noise, fuss, or fumes. From mowers and trimmers to blowers and pressure washers, one battery powers over 90 tools. No wonder it's the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Power beyond belief. Visit egopowerplus.com to learn more or to find an Ego retailer near you. That's egopowerplus.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Bump here. This weekend, come to the West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Beach Party for games and prizes, including a Traeger grill with vehicle purchase. Plus, get employee pricing on all new Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram vehicles. Join the beach party at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Tough news for Guardians pitcher Ben Lively. Is going to undergo Tommy John surgery on his right elbow. He will be sidelined for the rest of the season. The Guardians made that announcement before today's game against Detroit. His surgical date has not yet been set, but he will get the procedure done. So his season coming to an end. Meanwhile, the Mariners getting back to it tonight, looking to get back into the win column after getting it handed to them last night by the Astros. They send Emerson Hancock to the hill. Game 2 of the 4-game series. You can catch it all right here beginning at 4 o'clock with the pregame show, 5:10 first pitch. One other final today. The Red Sox just beat the daylights out of the Orioles, 19-5, the final in Game 1 of a doubleheader.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We've got mean text coming up at 3:45, so you guys have a little less than 45 minutes to get creative at 866-979-3776 and see what you're able to come up with. We got the Mariners and Astros coming up, Game 2 of their series. Emerson Hancock on the hill for this team, so hopefully he can point them in the right direction, is what I was trying to say. 3 games left, 4-game series, so we'll see what they get done. But last night was a little discouraging, not so much with Kirby because, again, first game this season, didn't expect a ton. Looked good. Velocity was there for the first 2 innings, and then things got away from him. But the offense, and I pointed out some of these numbers to Jon Morosi, who joined us earlier, it's cooling a bit. And some of the biggest contributors in April are some of the biggest of those that have cooled off. I mean, the team last night went 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position. They left 12 on base. They struck out 15 times last night, and 9 of those coming from Crawford, Polanco, and Cal Raleigh. First 3 strikeout game of the season for Polanco, and he's a guy that, you know, was so big in April. I mean, you look at his numbers in April, and he was off the charts good, where we're going, well, my goodness, where did this come from? He didn't even resemble this guy last year. Hit 379 with a 422 on base, 862 slug, OPS of 1284 for the month of April. Just absurd. And now you look at May, which we're coming to the end of, he's hitting 167 with a 250 on base, a 259 slug with a 509 OPS. It's been a rough month for him.
Yeah.
And same is true for J.P. Crawford. Not as extreme, but he's not having a great May when he's coming off a tremendous April. So some of the guys we were, you know, raving about, and this isn't ripping them, it was just, and we knew it. We talked about it then, that, like, look, they're not going to perform at this clip the whole season. They're red hot. They're going to come back a bit, and they have. So do you worry about this offense? Do you look at it and go, okay, you know, the pitching's hopefully going to get healthy just in time for this offense to cool off a bit, and maybe they're not going to carry the team the way they have to this point?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little early for that. I think you do worry about Polanco and his health. I mean, how are we? The latest update on him, I'm not sure. Is he feeling soreness or anything like that?
He's still not hitting from the right side.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not fully. A bit, you know, he's been good though. Right?
Oh, he was great in April. He's not been good in May.
Yeah. Well, and you know, and I don't know. I'm looking at Cal. So for his strikeouts, he had 3 strikeouts last night. He had a game against San Diego where he struck out 4 times. And then he had another, and this is just the month of May, 2 strikeouts against the Athletics. And all of the rest of the games have been either 0 or 1 strikeouts for him. So I don't know. I mean, to me, it just feels like it was just an off night. I think it felt like I said earlier, I felt like I was watching a game from last year with all the strikeouts and just not coming up with hits in, big opportune spots. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not pushing the panic button yet on the offense, but that was, I don't know, there was something about it, and I think maybe a lot of it is because it's the Astros, that it felt terrible last night watching that game.
Yeah. It did. And I don't look at it as a one-off because I just gave you the month-long numbers for 2 of the biggest contributors to this offense in the month of April who have gone the other direction. So, yeah, last night collectively, you could say, all right, that's, you know, the strikeout numbers, they haven't really been that team for the most part of the season, putting up double-digit strikeouts the way they did what felt like every game last year.
Yeah. I was just talking about Cal's strikeouts.
Well, of course you were.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, he had a 4 strikeout game, a 3 strikeout game, again, month of May, and a 2 strikeout game, but all the rest have been 0 and 1. So I don't know. I don't, to me, I get the numbers you're talking about, but I would expect them to bounce back tonight.
Yeah, Dan Wilson was asked about Polanco's health. This is Monday post-game conversation. Here's what he had to say.
He's doing fine. He's coming along, and right-handed swings are not too far behind, but we're just taking it slow, and his RBI single early was a big lift for us. I think getting on the board, getting us ahead. Giving Louis, a little bit of breathing room there on the mound was helpful, and that was a big hit for us early in the game.
Yeah, he's, hopefully he can get back somewhere between where he is now and what he was in April, because it's such a night and day version of him when you look at the numbers and what he did in the month of April versus what he's done in May. And hopefully Julio's had a really good May, so hopefully that continues for him. That'll go a long way into helping carry this offense, and Cal continuing with what he's doing. But just interesting, talking to JP about, for a point there, you're feeling like, wow, dude, what kind of additions do they really need? This offense is on fire, everybody's clicking, blah blah blah. Well, it's predictably kind of come back a bit, and I would imagine it will come back maybe even more. Now maybe other guys will start to pick up the slack and get hot. Still wondering when Luke Raley's going to come back, or Victor Robles, and is that going to be – here's my fear, is that those guys are going to come back in July or something. And I don't know. I don't even know what the timeline is for either of them. But just hypothetically, when we're approaching the trade deadline and they're going to be healthy, and the team will go, well, this is like going out and getting 2 new bats. We don't really need to do anything. This is like a trade right here. We don't need to go out and make a move. We got 2 bats that we're going to add to the lineup, which it feels like something that they would say, and we'll see. Again, I have no idea the timeline on either of those guys. Maybe they'll be back sooner. Maybe they're not coming back till later, or at all. Who knows? Who knows what's going to go on there? But one other question I had, and I've brought this up a lot. And I don't want to pick on this guy. I'm sure he's a great guy. I haven't spoken to Donnie Barrels before. I'm just wondering, at what point does Dan Wilson go, you know what? I'm going to stop playing the lefty-righty stuff. It's not working. I mean, they pinch hit Rowdy Tellez last night because you had a lefty come up on the hill, so he wanted a right-handed bat. He brings up Solano, and he immediately grounds into a double play. And he goes 0 for 2. And I'm looking at their numbers going, all right, well, what's he done against left-handed pitching? He's 4 for 42, 0.95. Tellez has 11 at-bats. He's 1 for 11, 0.91. Neither have been good against left-handed pitching. Solano's had many more turns, certainly, but there's not enough of a difference between those two guys for me to go, well, yeah, take Tellez out, bring in Solano, you got a better shot. I don't think he represents a better shot. I don't know. I don't understand the rationale of putting him in outside of the obvious, well, so he's a righty versus a lefty. Okay, but he's a righty who's just not hitting at all at this point.
Either side.
So, well, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't. He's not a switch hitter. But
no, I know. I mean, left or right-handed pitching.
Yeah. He's just. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I'm not saying Tellez is going to go up there and rake against lefties, but I almost feel more confident. Like, all right, he's given you much more this season. Maybe he runs into one off of a lefty. I think he represents just as good of a chance against the lefty as Solano does. I just don't understand taking him out in that situation because you're not replacing him. You're not pinch hitting him with a guy who's, this guy's hitting at least 200, at least 225 against lefties. He's hitting 0.95.
Yeah, I wonder how much of it for Dan is just talking to the player and just seeing what headspace he's in and that kind of thing. Because, I mean, you look at, I'm sure he has access to all the numbers, right?
Yeah, of course he does.
But, he also is a guy that's around the team and just knows, and, it's the gut, going with the gut feeling. But, I mean, numbers-wise, it doesn't really make sense. But, I wonder how much of that Dan does. It's kind of interesting. We haven't really talked about that much, over the last month or so of the trade deadline. I mean, that talk has kind of subsided a bit, but now all of a sudden starting to pop back up again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious what people think as far as, whether they need that, or we're going to let this play out over the next couple of weeks, or, what. How do you feel about, is it absolutely necessary? Are they going to be doing the team a disservice if they don't bring in people at the deadline? And, there hasn't been much talk about that, which is a good thing, right? But
yeah, because you were feeling good about how the offense was performing, and we were all just waiting for the pitching to get healthy.
Right.
But now you're seeing it. You're seeing a bit of a regression for some guys, and you start thinking about, okay, is this going to be who they are? Are they going to be able to pick it back up? Polanco, is he going to be able to, find his rhythm again and again, I'm not going to hold him to April's numbers. He was ridiculous. He was so good. He almost single-handedly carried this team. He was so hot. But so I'm not using that as the standard, but he's regressed in a way that's the other extreme, where he's hitting under 200. He's hitting a $170 or whatever I said he was hitting. I mean, he's got a 220 on base. It's just not good. Yeah. So you got to figure out a way to make up for that. And, whether it's going to be the guys coming back that are hurt, or you bring in somebody from the outside, because some of what you're using, and again, Solano, I don't understand his role on this team. I know what they were hoping to get out of him. You haven't gotten it out of him. Mm-hmm. And somebody, Ben in Lake Forest, says, don't forget that Rowdy's had a few balls get by him that a slimmer, more athletic first baseman would easily get. I don't know about easily, but yeah, he doesn't have range. He's very good at picking it. He's way better at that than I thought he would be. And he's gonna get the ball that's hit right in his little circle right there where he can function. He's gonna get those, but he doesn't have range. So you don't have a great option defensively at first base. that's got a guy that's got range and can pick it. You just don't have that. And who's hitting doesn't exist on this team right now.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that when things are going good, to your point, you think, okay, well, it's just going to go like this forever. I mean, we're gonna be good, right? We're fine as far as our offensive numbers, because this is from last week. But I'm just looking at walks, on base percentage, slug, OPS, all that. They had a number of these other than hits where they're top 10, top 10 offensively. But is it sustainable? Is a question I know you like to ask. And maybe I don't know. I guess at that point we were talking about the coaching. And what the message is from Dan and Edgar and Seitzer and that was the big cure. But now all of a sudden you see these guys start to drop off, and it's like, oh boy, is it because we don't have the right players?
Yeah, and it's that's the ebb and flow of a baseball season. Guys are going to get hot, and they're going to have peaks and valleys, and that's going to be true of everybody on this team. And maybe it's just a little bit more extreme for Polanco, and who knows if injuries. If it's bothering him at all more this month than it did in April. I mean, they're running him out there. So that tells me he's feeling okay. They feel okay with it. And we've seen how cautious this team can be with injuries, how cautious they are. So I suspect he feels as good as he's felt physically, and he's just hitting a downturn. He's in a valley right now, and hopefully he can pick it up. But it does, obviously when it cools off and you see those, 15 strikeouts and this 2 for 10 and things like that, you start thinking about, all right, are these the guys? Are they going to need some help? Yeah. So, and I'm of the belief that they'll need some bats, a bat at least. And I'm hoping that management has been given the green light to go acquire that bat, should they be in we'll see where they're at in the standings. That's the other big part of it. For some reason they just go into a tailspin and they're 8 games out of it or 10 games out or something crazy. Well, all right, then it's a different convo. But if they're still in first or within a few games of first, I want to see this team go for it, man. I hope they do. I really hope they do. The Mariners return home on Tuesday to begin a 9-game homestand, and fans can look forward to 3 days of Randy Arozarena bobblehead giveaways during the National Series. You got K-pop fireworks night, which Brady's very excited about. He was just back there, wouldn't stop talking about it, how excited he was about that. That's happening on May 30th. Bark in the Park is on June 3rd. You got Pride Month ticket specials on the 4th and value game seats on the 5th. So all kinds of action going on out there beyond what's on the field. So for more information, you can go to mariners.com/tickets.
Why is Brady so excited about the pop now?
I don't know. He just wouldn't stop raving about it yesterday. He loves it. He's a K-pop kid. Look at him.
You've left him speechless, Bob.
Yeah.
He can't even say anything to combat that or explain why. He's just sitting here so excited. He wants to come out to Edgar's, he said that day, and do the show with us so he can get to the K-pop full experience.
Is he going to do the same thing that he does when he's in here? Just sit there and stare at us the whole time? There he is, shaking his head.
Sit there and annoy Matt.
You didn't take the biggest hit today.
Do you want to mention that? You haven't mentioned Matt Nelson and Gary Hill yet.
Matt Nelson took the big hit. I don't know if you heard about it, Brady, but yeah, Gary Hill Jr. did his interview with a picture of Matt in the background. It's hilarious. Everybody loves Matt. Enough to pick on him, I guess.
That was great. Seeing that picture in the background.
I've never seen Matt turn that shade of red.
Shade of red. See, this is what happens when you root for the Red Sox. You can't speak. It just doesn't. It doesn't compute.
But I think Gary Hill called it the Matt Nelson Easter egg. The Easter egg hunt.
Well,
you put some reference to Matt.
They said they were doing it when he was on with us. I didn't even notice it. I didn't even think to look for it. But there was apparently some sort of Matt Nelson reference.
He's been trying to get him on there for 3 months, and the framing of the picture just didn't work. We finally got it right today.
Matt doesn't want to be on the air. He doesn't want to be on video.
He doesn't want to be acknowledged.
He doesn't want to be acknowledged. He doesn't.
Just want
I'm
attention.
not sure if he wants to live.
So good. It looked like a high school yearbook photo.
Oh, it's great.
It's a great picture hanging in the background behind Gary.
We can rip him as much as we want right now because he's not going to be listening, and who knows what he's off to.
You
right
do
now.
it when he's here, too, so that's good. By the way, that's a reminder. Mean Text coming up at 3:45, so you've got time to get creative at 866-979-3776. Meanwhile, we touched on this during WHYMAN, the whole Tush Push thing, which, is just a weird battle to me. Again, I don't really care about it and how it affects the Seahawks because it doesn't. They don't run it. It's not like you're taking a weapon away from the Seahawks by saying, get rid of it.
How many teams do you think will do it next year?
Probably the same amount that tried it this year. I mean, we had that list. I wish I would have kept it because it had every attempt by every team, and it was like single digits for the majority of the teams outside of the Eagles and the Bills. I think were obviously the Eagles, and the Bills were way off second. And then everybody else was like, it's a non-factor. I guess that's what it's a principal thing for me. It's such a non-factor outside of the Eagles that it's to have it be up for debate as to whether we ban this and is this a problem? We got to get rid of it. It's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was just trying to think, like I said, down the road, took a philosophy class at Stanford, and it was like, okay, whatever your strongest convictions are, you need to push back against. And I'm like, yeah, I have a pretty strong conviction that the defense should be able to figure it out, to settle it on the field. But, I'm just trying to look down the road of like, okay, at what point does, if it's that successful, other teams, we always talk about how it's a copycat league. Other teams are going to try it. Now, are they able to do it? I mean, the other thing that's fascinating to me is that, hundreds and hundreds of, well, not hundreds and hundreds, but I mean, football's been around for a long time. And different iterations of it early on, obviously. But then, if you look at the last, 50 years or so, or 60 years, I mean, it's so revolutionary that they're able to pick up first downs at this rate, and nobody can stop it. So that's
when the Eagles do it.
It's kind of fascinating, right? Yeah, they have the cheat code
because we've seen short yardage plays where they all bunch up, and you've talked about how much it irritated you to see the Seahawks on 3rd and 1, and everybody comes in tight,
right?
And they run off the left side and they run into a wall, and then 4th and 1 they do it again and they can't even gain a yard. I wish they could do the tush push. Like, learn how to do that because what you just did there didn't work and it was brutal.
We would have won 2 games last year.
Yeah, so it's not sweeping the league. It's not becoming the fashionable thing to do on offense because teams, for whatever reason, can't execute it other than the Eagles on a regular basis, and they're the only ones trying it on a regular basis.
But that's right now.
Right. Well,
I'm just talking about, like, what about 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
Then bring it up for a vote in 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that it should be stopped by the defense, and I would like to see that, but I don't know. I mean, the one thing I brought up is that maybe if you're engaged with somebody, and I know this has happened to me before, and somebody shoves you in the back, it's not the greatest thing for you health-wise and physiologically, and maybe it doesn't work, but I didn't see anybody getting hurt last year, from the offensive side. So
the only tweak I would make is one you brought up. We brought it up before. Let the defense do the same thing.
Push, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only tweak. I would say, okay, yeah, that's fair. That seems reasonable to me. Like, hey, you're letting the offensive players push the ball carrier, and you're getting a 350-pound lineman pushing them in. Okay, well, then let's let the linebackers and whoever you've got behind the D lineman, whoever they are, you want to bring in your backup D lineman, bring them back in there and let them all push.
Well, and we used to do that all the time with field goal rush.
Yeah.
Back when I played, when you could do that. And I think it was either NASA or Big Ray brought up, if they have 3 pushers, you get 3 pushers, or, whatever. And, NASA was talking about, okay, if you declare that, how about eliminate any play action? I don't know, just to make it fair. They're all ideas, just throwing them out there. But it's kind of interesting to me just because we're talking about this. Last year, it was the hip drop tackle. And then, the NFL with the draft and the schedule release and everything, it just always dominates the news. But I think this one's kind of interesting because it's so revolutionary that they can pick up first downs at that rate and that nobody ever thought to do that.
We're up against the break, but quickly, how different is it from the quarterback sneak in the way that the formation, they're all bunched up, they're all basically, it looks like the cousin of that play. They really, your first cousin, really close, the brother of that play. I mean, it's that close. It's very similar.
It's not the ugly cousin, is it?
No, it's not. There's not that much separation.
Yeah.
It's a sibling. So why is it so much different, or in your eyes, what are they doing that's so much different than the quarterback sneak?
Well, number one, I see guys getting down into like a really much lower stance. Like they're only trying to fight for like, and I think it's more, that's what it's all about. It's more about their mentality of just fighting for like a foot. And then you get, a quarterback who's pretty strong, and then, you have somebody shoving him from behind.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, that's the big difference, really.
Because everybody's getting low on a quarterback sneak, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. They have a different, like I see guys in like almost like a 4-point stance, kind of. Where
so it's just mechanically a little different, but
yeah,
formation-wise,
it's the same.
It's the same thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. Meanwhile, there's one interesting view of where the Mariners are right now. We're going to dive into that in Best of the Rest. It's coming up next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
The Astros take the opening game, 4-game series, and man, those booms are really loud. Enough with the booms. That's enough.
Looks like we're fixing to have an old-fashioned Wild West standoff this summer. After a thumping in Game 1, the first-place Ams look to even up the series in Houston. Tonight, first pitch at 5:10. Wyman and Bob take you up to pregame at 4 on Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman here from my friends at Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for the past 23 years. And I'm really excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my kind of people. I had Ray, Chris, and Nick out to my house just to see what they could do for us because we've been in the same house for 24 years and virtually every window in our home has a broken seal. Harley Exteriors has an exclusive, high-quality Euro Vinyl Olympic Series window, and it's manufactured right here in Washington. And these windows are designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. And it's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. Very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And right now, through the month of May, buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Harley Exteriors are big fans of the station, and they're excited to work with our listeners, and I'm proud to be working with Ray, Chris, and Nick at Harley Exteriors. It's a team you can get behind. So get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more. They're right here in the Puget Sound. Give them a call at 833-HARLEY. That's 833-HARLEY. Or you can go to harleyexteriors.com.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hoped it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Bump here. This weekend, come join the West Hill Ford Beach Party for games and prizes, including a Traeger grill with vehicle purchase. Plus, during the Ford From America for America event, enjoy employee pricing on many new Ford models. Join the beach party at West Hills Ford.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Groundworks comes in. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later on your timeline. No showings, no double moves. Plus, Orchard handles all home repairs for you, attracting buyers. Buy before you sell and get top dollar with Orchard. Visit Orchard.com for your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
We know you love listening to us, but there are great discussions happening all over our station.
I need more Jake Bobo. I need more of them.
Because Jake Bobo is objectively fun to say.
Yeah, I'm just not good at that.
Tone it down.
It's time for the best of the rest.
How dare you?
It's time for Best of the Rest. Take a listen to some of the conversations happening with Brock and Salk and Bump and Stacy, and Dave and I will weigh in with the correct opinion on said topics. By the way, a reminder, we do have Mean Text coming up at 3:45, so you still have a little bit of time to get creative with your mean things. 866-979-3776. Meanwhile, we'll start with Brock and Salk, and they were talking about the Mariners' window of contention and talking about it truly starting now and what it means for the trade deadline.
For all the talk the last couple of years about not living up to expectations, and it's all fair, they did not live up to expectations for any number of reasons. Is it possible that this is really kind of when the window is supposed to start? That maybe they were a few years ahead of schedule, that a rebuild is supposed to, like the Astros rebuild, the Cubs rebuild, those took a fairly long time. And those were two of the ones we really pointed to and said, okay, this is kind of what you're hoping to do here, especially the Astros. That took significantly longer. I mean, that was year after year after year of being in the basement. The Mariners didn't do that, right? And they kind of got good a little bit more quickly. Julio showed up. The pitching showed up maybe a little ahead of schedule. Look, I don't know why they didn't go out and do more in the last couple of off seasons, but is it possible they were waiting for this farm system to look like this and for the major league roster to kind of let them know, hey, the time is right. Now is the time to really go after it. And if that's true, and I don't know that it is, I'm maybe giving a huge benefit of the doubt that is not necessarily deserved. They're in a really good position right now. And because of it, I think you've got to get, Brock, you said it yesterday, if DDT is draft, develop, and trade, you got to get that part right this year. This deadline is incredibly important, not just because of who you get, but how you go about doing it. My request, Do not do a Kendall Graveman, Paul Sewald style buy-sell deal this year.
Mm-hmm.
Do not tell this roster we only sort of believe in you.
I thought Brock was really insightful in that whole exchange there. Mm-hmm.
He agrees. What he said.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with Salk on this is when they were supposed to contend, because by Jerry DiPoto's own words, they were supposed to contend years ago. Now, we can't keep moving the goalposts and saying, well, no, actually, this is the year we were looking to contend. Actually, it's this year we expect to contend. No, I'm not going to continue to keep moving the goalposts. No. You're supposed to contend a few years ago, and you did contend in 22, and you found your way into the postseason, and you didn't back it up. You didn't back it up with surrounding the core with the players they needed to continue that competition, to continue that growth, and you took a step back. So whether it's they didn't want to spend money, whatever their motivation was to not go out the past couple off seasons and truly do something, only ownership can speak to that. We can all speculate. But the idea that they peaked a little earlier than they thought, and this was the plan the whole time, that draft, develop, trade, and now the farm system's where they've got it and where they wanted it, and this is what they were really looking to achieve before they went for it. No. I'm not buying any of that.
I was looking at Houston just because they mentioned him. They lost 106, 107, and 111 games, 11, 12, and 13. Yeah, so, I mean, they went through just like the total teardown there.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I would say this in Jerry's defense, that you're right. I mean, it is like what's my budget and what am I going to spend? And then the other thing that Jerry said, and it's true, they got the guys that they thought were gonna be the answer, and it just didn't work out. Those guys just did not, Winker, guys like him. I mean, it just didn't work out. So I think within the budget, the guys that he got, he thought those were the right, they were the right guys, but he just had a streak there for a number of years where those guys just didn't live up to the numbers.
Yeah, I don't know what a realistic expectation was or should have been for the guys that they picked up.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, what were you expecting out of A.J. Pollock and Colton Wong and Tommy LaStella? And
those guys.
I mean, come on, man. You're not getting guys at their prime. You're not going out and getting, a guy who's 26, 27, 28. You're getting guys that used to be good, and they're past their prime, but, hey, we still feel like there's still some gas in the tank. You got what you paid for. And
right. Well, and that's all he can do, right?
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't control the budget. I've always defended Jerry on when people start ripping the team for not spending. Well, that's not up to him. It's up to him where they spend what they've been allotted, what they've been given. He's choosing player A over player B in that price range.
Yeah,
that's on him. But why didn't you go out and get this guy who costs 3 times what this player got? Well, that's being dictated by ownership, and only they can answer why they didn't do it. But the idea that somehow that they peaked a little earlier than they thought, and this is really their window, not buying that at all. All right, this was bumping Curtis. Stacy was out that day, but they were debating the better path in paying for your starting quarterback. The 49ers, the way they did it with Brock Purdy, or the Seahawks and how they did things with Sam Darnold.
Do you go the Brock Purdy route to where you lock him down, even if you feel like he's not worth the $53 million a year, or do you do what the Seahawks did? You get a guy who's coming off a good season, who has potential. You pay him $33.5 million a year, 12% of your salary cap, and you say, let's see. Because I'm still with Brock Purdy. I know he's a good NFL quarterback, but I don't know if he's a quarterback that wins a Super Bowl for you.
I'm right there with you, Bum, because the worst thing you can do in the NFL is commit to a quarterback that may not necessarily be the kind of quarterback that will get you to a Super Bowl, and go all in on these guys that are good but maybe not great. You look at some of the highest paid quarterbacks in the game, and it's littered with a lot of those guys.
Yep.
It's littered with, Trevor Lawrence, guys that are just not necessarily people I would consider to be elite quarterbacks. Dak Prescott, I think, is a good quarterback, but is not somebody that I would say is a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. Tua, $53 million. I wouldn't say that about him as an elite quarterback. When you look at Purdy and what Darnold is making right now, you mentioned it earlier, Bump. Darnold has the better physical traits than Brock Purdy does. Now, Purdy's decision-making, I think, is a lot better than Darnold's, and his poise is a lot better than Darnold's. But I look at the Brock Purdy contract, Bump, and I'm very thankful that it's the 49ers paying that bill and not a team like the Seahawks. I
got to agree with C-Raj there. I think Purdy is still, I mean, as much as he puts up the numbers, the one thing I would say about Purdy that I appreciate about his game the most, he's got some stones. He throws the ball into tight little windows, and he has a lot of confidence in making those throws.
But and he got him to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They didn't win,
but
they lost in overtime.
Yeah, I think I'm with Darnold. I like this scenario better than Purdy because, you mentioned Trevor Lawrence, and it's a great example of a guy they paid a guy who they thought was going to be their franchise quarterback, and he was going to be like one of the upper class guys, like Patrick Mahomes and like Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow and the whole thing, and it's just not, and it's just killing him, with the salary cap. So. Yeah, I mean, I like the way that they're going about it this time. I'm really excited to see, though, that, because I do every once in a while, I'll look at the name Sam Darnold and I'll hear the guy, the broadcaster from Minnesota that was like, get rid of it, man. You got to throw it. You're holding on to it or whatever. So we'll see. But, I'd rather go that route. I'm more comfortable with Darnold than I would be with Purdy paying him, that $250 whatever it was $1 million.
Yeah, I would just say that he's got a better resume than both Dak Prescott and
Purdy.
Trevor Lawrence. If we're just talking about where they've gotten in their career, he's only played 3 full seasons, but he got him to an NFC title game the first year, got him to the Super Bowl the next year, and then last year they were riddled with injuries. I mean, I feel weird defending a 49er here, but it's not comparable. How many playoff games has Dak Prescott won? How many has Trevor Lawrence won?
Oh.
So his resume is better. The end.
Yeah, I mean, but look, you could argue who was around him, or are they winning because of Brock Purdy?
He's playing. You just talked about his aggressiveness and the throws he makes. I'm not saying he's the best quarterback in the league by any stretch, but if we're going to compare him to others that have been given big contracts, I think the 49ers had more of a reason to believe, hey, we've been there. He's got an NFC championship game, Super Bowl. The other two haven't even sniffed it.
Right.
So, at least there's something there that you can use as an excuse to why you paid him. Doesn't mean it's going to work out. We'll find out.
Right.
But he's got more of a resume than certainly Trevor Lawrence. And Dak Prescott hasn't done it either. So
right, in the playoffs.
All right. Mean text coming your way next. You got a few minutes. 866-979-3776. We'll unveil your shots. Coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports at 7:10.
Brock and Salk
with our friend Jeff Passan.
I think that what we're seeing now is a version of how good the Mariners can be. The really exciting part is that George Kirby's coming back, and that Logan Gilbert's coming back, and that Bryce Miller's going to come back, and that all of a sudden this team that looks like arguably the second best team in the American League is going to be adding 2 Cy Young caliber pitchers.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10 on Seattle Sports.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
And 6/22/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply. Need a break from everything? Escape to a place where anything is possible and the fun never stops. At Silver Reef Casino Resort, you'll discover world-class dining, championship caliber golf, and so much more. Come join the fun and see why we've been consistently rated one of the region's top destinations. Visit silverreefcasino.com to book your stay and discover all the exciting events and promotions we have in store for you. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5, exit 260.
Find out more at silverreefcasino.com.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on Cat compact construction equipment at NC Machinery. Built for performance, durability, and comfort. Buy now and take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months at NC Machinery.
Riverside Roofing is offering $1,000 off a new roof replacement. Book a free estimate online, and when you meet with Brandon, that's Don's son, tell him you heard the message on the radio station. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. It's Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bumpin' Stacy.
My wife and I have been married for over 15 years, and I've never had any complaints about my performance in the bedroom. But after I turned 40, things started feeling different. I was gaining weight, losing muscle, and I just wasn't interested in sex anymore. My wife told me her friend's husband went through the same thing, and it turns out he had low testosterone. So we booked a free T-check at Revive Health, and that's when I learned that my testosterone levels were low too. We worked with a provider to create a custom treatment plan, and today, my wife and I are having more fun than we did on our honeymoon. My only regret is not reaching out sooner.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com or call 206-529-1111. Again, that's 206-529-1111.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
The bar is set a little higher than it used to be. What's been most impressive to me this whole year is just how they've been playing on the road this year. Second most wins in MLB. And you're winning in ways that we did not expect. But Dan has said it. You said it. I heard Jerry say it the other day as well. They win in multiple ways. And if you want to be a good baseball team, that's what you have to do.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service. 98 years providing logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linens, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. Visit suplinen.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
During National Military Appreciation Month, we at University of Maryland Global Campus say thank you to the service members, veterans, and families who dedicate their lives to our country. We are deeply grateful. For over 75 years, UMGC has proudly served the military community, from installations overseas to the communities you call home. Wherever you serve, we stand with you. Learn more at umgc.edu/thanks. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA Club World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for 23 years. I'm excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my type of people. I met with Ray, Chris, and Nick at my home recently about getting our windows replaced. We've been in our home for over 20 years, and virtually every window has a broken seal. We talked about Harley Exteriors and their exclusive, high-quality Eurovinyl Olympic Series window. It's manufactured right here in Washington. They're designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. It's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. It's very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And through May, buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Harley Exteriors are big fans of the station, and they're excited to work with our listeners. Get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more in Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY, HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Bump here. Celebrate Memorial Day weekend at the West Hills Ford Beach Party. Enjoy summer vibes, games, and prizes, including a Traeger grill with vehicle purchase, Amazon gift cards with test drive, and enter to win a tropical getaway. Plus, during the Ford From America for America event, enjoy employee pricing on many new Ford models. Join the beach party at West Hills Ford, just off of Auto Centerway exit, Highway 3, Bremerton. Part of the Hazelwood Auto Group. Hazelwood has it all.
This is Seattle's